Hello, welcome to the Real Internet Come Forth Meet the Author Session Live. My name is Internet Smith and I am your author. Remember to get your books, get your books, get your books, people. Some of them are on sale at Barnes& & Noble, Amazon, Google, Apple iTunes, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million, Kobo, Indigo, and Tails. All of them come in paperback and digital versions. Get your copies today. Today we are having a question and answer session. Remember, we are reading from the Real Internet Come Forth book series, value 1, 2, and 3. We are currently in value number 2, titled The Death of a Girl, and it is from age 12 to 16, and we're talking about teen pregnancy. Okay, come from childhood to motherhood. So I'm going to do a question and answer session. These questions that were sent to me, so I agreed to answer them live. Okay, so the first question is coming from Ohio. And it said, how old were you when you became a teen parent? Hello, Ohio. I was 12 years old when I became pregnant. And I birthed my first child at age 13. So 13. I was 13 years old when I became a teen parent. Okay, hope I have answered your question. Question number 2 is coming from Texas. And it said, did you have one or more children? Hello, Texas. I have 5 children. um, if you're asking how many children I had as a teen, I had 3. I had my first child at age 13. I had my second child at age 15, and I had my third child at age 16. My fourth child at age 22, and my fifth child at age 23. Hope I have answered your question, Texas. The next question is coming from Massachusetts, and it says, how did your parents respond to you being pregnant? Okay. Hello, Massachusetts. So, let's start with my mother. My mother was very distraught. She was very upset. She couldn't understand how could a 12-year-old get pregnant. It was unheard of in our family. No one had gotten pregnant at that age. My mother was in her 20s when she first started having sex and had her children. She didn't take it too well. She didn't take it too well. She blamed herself for me getting pregnant. She blamed herself for a lot of things, but she didn't take it too well. But once she realized that I had to have the baby, she began to change rapidly and help me. So she went with me to all of my doctor's appointments. She was there when I had my first 3 children. In fact, she went with me to all of my doctor's appointments. She was there when I birthed my children. So she was a great support. My father, on the other hand, had seen this type of behavior. That is when I found out that my grandmother, my father's mother, had her first child at age 13. She lived in Mississippi. She was a slave. And so my grandmother birthed her first child at age 13, and she went on to have 6 children, but she didn't keep any of them, including my father. His father raised him, but my father was like, don't touch her, don't put your hands on her. My mother had her baby at 13, so I bring her to Mississippi with my sister and my mother. So that was what my father plan was to me had a baby, and if my mother wasn't going to participate in me having the baby and keeping the baby, then he was going to bring me to Mississippi to my auntie and my grandmother. So the ones that was well aware of my situation and had walked through my steps that I was going to. So and my stepfather, he was distraught as my mother was. They just was in disbelief because they had never seen or heard of a 12-year-old getting pregnant or a 13-year-old having a baby. It wasn't a normal thing with my mother and my stepfather who helped raise me. It hurt them very much. They blamed themselves a lot. So it was a different response. So when you hear of a situation or a circumstance and it's normal in your family, or if you've seen it before, then you're not as shocked. But when you haven't seen or heard of it, it's a different response. So that's how my parents responded to me being pregnant. So I hope I have answered your question, Massachusetts. The next one is coming from Mississippi, And it said, did you raise your baby yourself or your parents raised them as their own? Hello, Mississippi. No, I raised my own baby. I raised all of my own children. I don't know. I wanted to raise my own children. My mother helped assisted me in raising my children. I lived with my mom. When I gave birth to my first child, my second child, I moved back in the house because I had left home. And then my third child, I was living under my mother's roof when I birthed him as well. And then I went on to get my own house. But I raised my own children. No, we didn't do the raising the brother sister thing. No. No, my children know who I was and I raised all of my children. Okay. Hope I have answered your question, Mississippi. Okay, I have a couple of more. The next question is, why did you get pregnant so early? Was you raped or incest? What happened? This is coming from Tennessee. I'm going to read it again. It says, why did you get pregnant so early? Were you raped or incest? What happened? This is from Tennessee. Hello, Tennessee. No, I was not raped. No, it was not an act of incest. I became pregnant early because I don't know if you have read any of my books, but my first book, The Rare Intent Come Forth, Volume 1, 2, and 3, the ones that we are currently reading right now. The first book is titled The Darkness Begins, and it is from age 4 to 11, and it talked about being molested. I was molested from age 4 to 11 by multiple people, and it got to the place that grown men was coming after me, and it was getting to a place that I wasn't able to continue to fight them off of me, and I was like, I'm gonna be raped at some point if I don't just go ahead and pick somebody and give myself to them. It's gonna be taken from me. So I made the conscious decision to have sex willingly. I chose my children's father, which he chose me first, liked me or whatever, and I just responded. No, that's what happened. I was not raped. It was not an act of incest. And so that's how I became pregnant early. Okay. I hope I have answered your question. Tennessee. The next one is coming from Alabama, and it says, did any of your children become a teen parent? Did any of your children become a teen parent? This is from Alabama. Hello, Alabama. Yes, my fourth child, which is my baby girl, she became a teen parent at age 15. She ran away from home, got pregnant, and when I put her in a behavior, I took her to the doctor to see was she sexually active, because for you to run away from home, you have got to have something going on. They was like she wasn't pregnant, but when I actually put her in a behavior unit, they drew blood and found out that she was pregnant. So she had her first child a couple of weeks before she turned 16. So yes, one of my children became a teen parent. My oldest son, he had his first child at 18. A couple of months after being 18, he had his first child. So I guess you would consider that a teen parent. So yes, they did. All right. The next question is, was your mom a teen parent? This is coming from Illinois. Was your mom a teen parent? This is coming from Illinois. I just answered that in the thing, but I'll answer it again. No, my mother was not a teen parent. My mother didn't start having sex till she was in her 20s. She didn't have her first child till she was in her 20s and was married. So, no, she was not a teen parent. It was a foreign concept to her when I came in and rocked her world. So, no, my mother was not a teen parent. Okay, and so those are all the questions that I have for today. So thank you for watching these videos, sharing these videos, and sharing with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.